TikTok coming through for the defense. It's an interesting thing to see, needless to say. Lindsay Clancy, day 11, wrapped up on Tuesday. It's a great day for a great day. My name is Sydney Rushing. I'm a criminal defense attorney in the state of Michigan. Now let's talk about it. The morning started off with witness number 61, Julie Paul, coming back on the stand. And for cross-examination, Reddington basically said, like, well, how did you even get connected with Lindsay? And she said that a mutual friend of her and Sue Clancy got her and Lindsay together. And that was it, and she was thanked and excused from the stand. Then the next person that failed Lindsay Clancy, witness number 62, Rebecca Jollotta, was called to the stand. She's a nurse practitioner at the South Shore Perinatal Medical Health Clinic. She took over care for Lindsay in December and in January after her other nurse practitioner left. She's also currently facing civil lawsuits from both Patrick Clancy and Lindsay Clancy for none other than negligence and wrongful death. She was certified in perinatal mental health after a 3-day training and a test. She has treated hundreds of women with postpartum depression and or anxiety and has approximately 5 with postpartum psychosis. Her major role is medication management. She took over the treatment for Lindsay after Paul left in December of 2022. She met with Lindsay on November 29th of 2022, and they went through her medications and her symptoms. She encouraged Lindsay to give one of the medications, mirzapitan, one more time to become effective, and she recommended Ambien to help with the sleep, but Lindsay denied that plan, and she doesn't recall why she did. She said that Lindsay was worried about taking benzos. She suggested other medication that Lindsay denied and just continued with her current plan of mirzapitan and Ativan as needed. Lindsay displayed no signs of psychosis or psychiatric symptoms on November 29th, and she did not say that she was feeling like unaliving herself or harming herself or others. She described Lindsay as being anxious. At that time, Lindsay tested as 17 out of 30 on the Edinburgh scale, which shows a moderate to severe symptoms with postpartum depression. November 30th, Lindsay reached out and asked to stop taking mirzapitan because her depression and insomnia were getting worse and she thought it was the medication. Lindsay said, "I'm really feeling like I can't go on like this," and asked to follow the plan of adding Seroquel. On December 1st, Lindsay reached out and said that she started having intrusive thoughts that she never had before. On December 2nd, Lindsay said that she woke up at 12 with horribly intrusive thoughts, wanting it to all be over. Her response to Lindsay was that intrusive thoughts are common in postpartum depression and they do not reflect on her as a mother. To which Lindsay basically followed up saying that she was not being heard and she felt concerningly numb and that she had no emotions and that she felt like she was going to die and she didn't care at all, and what should she do? Jollotta said that she did not interpret that as unaliving ideation. And then the jury got a break and it was TikTok to the rescue. The defense received an email about this TikToker who was talking about McLean Hospital. Her name is Emily Thorndike, and she posted a video basically saying, like, they're all lying about the treatment and the help that you get at McLean during the holidays and stuff. It is severely, like, understaffed and there's this huge issue, right? Problem is that she did leave a year prior to her having her stay there, and the judge kind of questions, like, yeah, you know, she was gone for almost a year. Do you have another available witness that maybe is closer in time or worked there at the time that this happened? Obviously the prosecutors objected because they said, like, this isn't fair. She didn't work there at the time. It could have been totally different, and the judge took the ruling under advisement. Then the jury was brought back and direct examination continued. On December 3rd, Lindsay reached out and said that she had horrible intrusive thoughts all day long and that she was deeply depressed, and taking Ativan stopped the intrusive thoughts and made her feel better. On December 6th, she met with Lindsay in person and Patrick was with her at that hearing. She was anxious, but there were no reports of hallucinations or bad thoughts. She advised Lindsay she was concerned about bipolar disorder. She said it's not normal to go 48 hours without sleep and not be tired, but ultimately she did not diagnose bipolar because there were other symptoms that were missing. She recalled Patrick Clancy saying, "My wife is not bipolar," and Lindsay Clancy just looking at her and then not giving a response. I think we all can see what Patrick Clancy thought of mental health or diagnoses or medications from a few of the comments that he's made to other providers. Anyways, they decided to taper off the benzos and prescribe Valium to help. December 7th, Lindsay said she was having issues sleeping and that she did not feel tired, again raising eyebrows at the thought of a bipolar diagnosis. On December 9th, Lindsay said she was having intrusive thoughts and unaliving ideation, but had no plans to act on it, and it was recommended for Lindsay to go into partial hospitalization. She thought Lindsay was showing signs of mania and hypomania and increased the Seroquel. On December 13th, no signs of mania or psychosis were present, but Lindsay had felt depressed. Lindsay had said she had thoughts a few times over the week of harming herself. On December 15th, Patrick Clancy and Lindsay called her together. They expressed that Lindsay was having the worst day and had constant thoughts of unaliving herself. On December 16th, Lindsay decided to go to the hospitalization program and they discussed like a meds adjustment. And then on December 19th, Lindsay said she was going to the treatment program the next day, Lindsay had reached out and said that the program recommended her to taper off Seroquel. However, Jollotta was hesitant to start the tapering process because she was going to be going on vacation and would be unavailable to Lindsay for like helping and for symptoms and things like that. And then on December 30th, Patrick Clancy called in and said that Lindsay Clancy was safe, but he wanted her to be taken to the hospital, and that was the last time that they saw Lindsay Clancy. And then on cross-examination, this is what we learned. She said she met with Lindsay 3 times, twice virtually and 1 time in person. She was unaware that Lindsay was seeing Dr. Tufts as well and that they didn't talk about it. She said she reviewed Lindsay's prescription medication program, which is a medication tracking program, so she would have seen all those things. They talked about the meds that Lindsay was prescribed during October to basically December. She said she increased the Seroquel to help with mood stabilization. She thought that Lindsay would be at the hospital treatment program for 2 weeks, but she was only there for a day and wasn't admitted. She did not find out whether or not there was a diagnosis from the program. She said it would matter why she wasn't admitted to the program, but she doesn't know their diagnosis. She was also unaware that the staff at the program were concerned that Lindsay was overprescribed medication. They talked about her concerns about bipolar and the symptoms of mania, and this could be excessive cleaning, running, exercising. He gave an example about how Lindsay ran a 5K just after having Callan, and Patrick didn't want her to, and she said that would have been important to know. She said she's treated approximately 5 psychosis patients, and she said that some heard voices and that it is a real thing. They talked about Lindsay calling the self-help line and not getting help because she didn't have a plan to take herself out. She described Patrick Clancy as being concerned, but didn't recall him saying that Lindsay Clancy had gotten 10,000 times worse or becoming a zombie due to the meds. He asked her if Patrick Clancy was concerned or if he was just pissed off because of what the medications were doing to his wife and making her appear, and she said that she would describe him as being concerned. During the December 9th call, due to the intrusive thoughts, she increased Lindsay's meds and she added Valium. She was unaware that Lindsay had stopped driving. She was aware of Lindsay going to the Women's and Children's Hospital from January 1 to January 5, but that she didn't try to get her medical records or speak with them regarding Lindsay's care there. On redirect, she said that she was told by Lindsay Clancy on December 21st regarding the hospitalization they discussed her doing that she wouldn't benefit from group therapy and that the doctors recommended her coming off Seroquel. She also confirmed that intrusive thoughts are common in women with postpartum depression. And then after that, the jury was released, and that is all she wrote for this day 11 recap. Thank you for being here. Thank you for following along. And here is my question of the day. Do you think, after hearing the testimony over the past couple weeks, that Lindsay Clancy was over-medicated? Do you think that? Let me know in the comments.